All right, Russia is set to begin a massive 500,000 troop mobilization. That's according to Kyiv military intelligence in Ukraine. It comes as the fighting continues after a 36-hour Russian proposed ceasefire ended overnight Saturday. The Kremlin today claims that Russian forces have taken the village of Bakhmut, an area that has been the site of intense fighting for months. Ukrainian President Zelensky says the Bakhmut region is, quote, one of the bloodiest places on the front line. Now, Russian officials say these deliveries of Western weapons, including armored vehicles to Kyiv, could, quote, deepen the suffering of the Ukrainian people and would not change the course of the conflict. The U.S., France, and Germany announced last week that they would start sending more armored combat vehicles to Ukraine. And joining us now for insight on all this is retired Brigadier General of the United States Air Force and U.S. Army Deputy Military Representative to NATO, Blaine Holt. Great to see you, General.
Great to be with you, John.
All right, so we're closing in on 1 year of the war in Ukraine. Now, the Kremlin says the additional support, these Bradley armored fighting vehicles coming from the United States and some of these other countries, are only going to worsen the suffering for the Ukrainians. Now, we're also, too, hearing these reports just today of 500,000 Russians mobilized to fight. How does that impact the war in Ukraine?
Oh, well, it's going to impact it greatly if this is the way that the Kremlin's going to go. First off, internally, they're already under pressure inside Russia on all fronts to keep popular support for the war. This will not go well with the Russian people. And then externally, internationally, you've got China and India quietly but forcefully pushing Russia to get this done. The Russians, but Putin has no U-turn. There is no way for him to turn around at this point in time. It's all or nothing for him. So when he looks at new weapons coming onto the battlefield, that's his viewpoint, is that, oh, this is going to go longer now because they're introducing more kit. The problem is, are we going to be in a decisive place with the Ukrainians to get this done? Time will tell.
Time will tell, indeed. You know, there is intense political pressure on Vladimir Putin inside Russia. Where does he get 500,000 new troops from?
Well, I mean, there'll be drafts, conscripts, reservists, and they honestly have about a population of 1.5 ready and age-appropriate men to pull from. But they just getting the 300,000 done was very tough. And then you got to remember the training timeline. So what he's essentially transmitting is, I'm going to be in this war forever. Getting an additional 500,000 trained up means another year. And then at the same time, on the Western side, you can bet the suffering that we see in Europe is going to have everybody wanting to talk to Zelensky at the World Economic Forum when all the leaders get together about where does this end? Where does this off ramp? And here at home in the United States, we're all for supporting Ukraine, but we've got to watch our own readiness levels because the world is very dangerous, and we should be looking over our shoulders at China, Iran, North Korea, and the other threats that we have, and measuring what is our commitment and what can we do.
There is no shortage of concern out there. General, I wish we had more time because we could talk about the game tonight. Go Dogs, of course. I know you'll be rooting. We'll be on text cheering on the Dogs tonight. Great to see you.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.